Saying that Jesus is the Lord of your life and him actually being the Lord of your life are two different things. And this is what James is talking about. He's saying talk is cheap. Words are cheap. If you're looking for a New Year's resolution, it is. James had the benefit of writing a letter. I don't know how long it took him to write this letter, but there is one line in here that I would love to talk to him in heaven and say, where did that idea come from? Where did that one line come from? Because it is perfect, okay? In James 2:14 through 26, what's your guess on what that phrase is? Anybody? There's one phrase that's better than every other phrase there, unequivocally. It's even the demons believe and shudder. Like, what a burn. Like, what an absolute, incisive, cut to the core. It's like, you think you're any good because you believe in God? Even the demons believe in God. Even they believe in God. How are you any different? I need to tattoo this on my hand so I can see it every day. Even the demons believe and shudder. Without good deeds, we are no different from the demons. Without good deeds, we are no different from them. This is this idea of belief versus a saving belief. A saving belief in Jesus Christ leads to good deeds and actions. So if you say you believe, but your inclination is to be lazy when it comes to actually doing good for others, there are two potential reasons. There are two reasons that if you say you believe in God, but you're lazy about doing good deeds for others. Reason number one, you're not growing in your faith. Reason number one, you may not be growing in your faith, okay? It's like a plant without water. You plant that seed, and if you don't water it, give it light, give it the right soil, it's not going to grow. The seed is genuine, the seed is real, but the actual fruit is not being bared, okay? Because it's not being taken care of. This is what personal spiritual disciplines are. Coming to church, reading your Bible, praying, getting in a small group, singing worship songs, sharing your faith. All these things are the water and the sunlight on your faith. And without them, you may have saving belief in Jesus, but the fruit just isn't there. You just don't really care that much about helping others. You don't think that much about anybody outside of your immediate family. You don't go out of your way to assist people in need. You just don't think about it. And the reason may be that you're not growing in your faith. The seed of your faith may be genuine, but the growth is stagnant. Nourish your faith and watch your motivation to good deeds grow. Nourish your faith and you'll see your motivation to do good grow. Reason number two, if you say you believe, but you're lazy when it comes to good deeds, is you don't have a saving belief in Jesus Christ. This would be like mistaking a pebble for a seed and planting it. No matter how much water you give it, no matter how much sunlight you give it, it's not going to grow. It makes no difference. If you've got a faith like this, you can read the Bible and go to church all you want, but if the seed of your faith is actually a rock, your desire to do good deeds will never grow. If your belief in Jesus is just a head thing, I believe he's real. Okay, even the demons believe that. If it's not a saving belief in Jesus, which is a little bit different, I'll explain that later, it's not going to grow. Now listen, nobody in this room wants to think that this describes us. Once again, it's the Sunday after Christmas. We're really good Christians, okay? Even half the pastors are not here today. We're very good, very good. But if after years of reading the Bible and coming to church and singing these worship songs, if your inclination to do good for others is absent or fleeting, this could be a sign of a dead faith. Again, the works don't make you a Christian, but the works are a part of a genuine Christian's life. Okay, a genuine Christian's life. I majored in education, and so we did a lot of activities to get young people's brains moving and icebreakers and opening things. And one thing we did was called Vote with Your Feet. And Vote with Your Feet is where you ask a crowd an opinion to choose between two different things. You'd say, okay, if you prefer Dr. Pepper, you go stand on that side. If you prefer Coke, go stand on that side. And you'd say 1, 2, 3, and they'd all go do that. I'm not going to do that because it'd be chaos and the children would run away and it wouldn't work. But I do want to do some pointing, okay? I want to do some pointing today. So if you prefer Dr. Pepper or Coke, on the count of 3, point in the direction you prefer Dr. Pepper or Coke. Please don't hit your neighbor in the face with your finger. Dr. Pepper, Coke, 1, 2, 3, point in the direction, go. Okay. All right. It's actually evenly split. Okay, great. All right. On the count of 3, if you prefer chocolate chip cookies to brownies. And once again, some of you are like, well, I don't like sweets. Okay, what do you prefer? Okay, just one of them. Gosh, just play along. Chocolate chip cookies versus brownies. 1, 2, 3, go. Some people can't decide. They're pointing in both directions. Okay, here's something everybody has an opinion on. Mountains or beach? Mountains or beach? 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, okay. I think I see a lot more beaches, which is interesting. Okay, fine. Okay. Cats versus dogs. 1, 2, 3. Cats, dogs. Oh, man, we are a dog church. All right. I would agree. I just didn't know everybody else agreed with me. Now, let's imagine this. Let's imagine that I asked you a question and I said, vote with your heart, okay? What do you believe? What do you think? You would point this way, I know I'm a Christian, this way, and I'm not sure. And some of the pit in your stomach just dropped. You're like, please don't make me point. If that is you, I need you to stop what you're doing and talk to God. If when I said, I'm about to give you the opportunity to point in one direction and say, I know I'm a Christian, and one direction to say, I'm not sure, and your stomach just clenched, you need to talk to God today, okay? I'm not saying that means you're not a Christian. I'm not saying but there's something there. And anybody in this room that follows Jesus would love to talk to you, Pastor Kirby, myself, we'd love to chat with you on what that means. Why did that thought make you so nervous? Why did the idea of pointing in a direction of whether or not you believe or you don't know if you believe make you feel a little sick to your stomach? The question is, do you have a saving faith in Jesus Christ? Do you recognize the sin in your life as sin? I think a lot of us get this part. Do you recognize the sin in your life as sin? Next, do you believe that Jesus' sacrifice on the cross and resurrection make the payment for that sin? A lot of us believe that as well. We believe that Jesus made payment for that sin. And the last thing is, have you made him the boss of your life? Have you made him the boss of your life in reality or only in theory? Is Jesus actually the boss of your life? Or is it just in theory when he tells you to do the things that you agree with, that he's the boss of your life? This may be the sticking point between a belief and a saving belief. Is he actually the Lord, ruler, master, boss of your life? Saying that Jesus is the Lord of your life and him actually being the Lord of your life are two different things. And this is what James is talking about. He's saying talk is cheap. Words are cheap. It's easy to say Jesus is the Lord of my life, but is he actually guiding you? Is he actually prompting you? Are you actually listening and responding? Once again, the works of listening does not get you saved, okay? That's not what it is, but it's an indication. If you hear Jesus say, do something, and your thought is, let's go, it's a pretty good indication that you have a saving belief. If every time you hear God prompt you to do something, you're like, I don't know, and you talk yourself out of it, there's a question there. May not be a saving belief, or you may just be not growing in your faith. But this is what James is talking about. He says, as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without deeds is dead. He says in James 2:26. One more time, the works or deeds you do can't save you, but works and deeds are fruit that grows from a genuine seed of faith. So I want you to do something. When I taught student ministry for 10 years, I never walked out of a room teaching without saying, here's what you need to do. Here's something you can do differently because of what we talked about today. Because if we walk out of here and we're no different than when we walked in, we're not doing anything differently, then why did you even come? Okay, what was the point? You need to do something differently. First of all, do good. If you're looking for a New Year's resolution, it is do good. It is do good. James 4:17 says this. It says, if anyone then knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, it is sin for them. It is sin to know the good you need to do and not do it. So when you get an inclination to do a good thing and you're like, that's weird, I'm not doing that. That's sin. That's disobedience. Now, not knowing the good thing, that's a different thing. That's ignorance, that's not understanding the situation. But if in your brain you know the right thing and the good thing to do and you're like, that's sin. That's sin for a believer to hear that and not respond accordingly. So make this your New Year's resolution. Just follow those inclinations. If you've got a saving belief in Jesus, you've got the Holy Spirit in you, he will continually prompt you to do good things. He will continually prompt you to do good things. And then it's your job to do them. Just do those good things. Next, nourish your faith. Let's say you're confident in your faith. You know, when I asked you to point in which direction, you were ready. You knew you were going to heaven when you died. You got it. That's great. But maybe you're lazy in doing good. Maybe you don't do the good you ought to be doing. Then you need to nourish your faith. And we nourish our faith with spiritual disciplines. It's the Sunday school answer. It's reading our Bible. It's praying. It's meeting with somebody to study the Word together. It's getting in a community group. It's sharing our faith. It's worshiping. All these different things are ways that you can nourish your faith. So if you're confident you're a believer, but you're kind of lazy in doing good, focus on that this year. Focus on doing good and nourishing your faith in a new way. Maybe a way that you haven't tried in a while, or with a partner, or with something sort of group or online study, whatever it may be. If you're looking for a resource, we got 1 million of them. Okay, come talk to us. We can show you how to nourish your faith. But for those of you who are not confident in your faith, turn to Jesus Christ with saving faith. This is something that's so simple a child can do it, but so nuanced that so many adults miss the point. And they still think they have to do the right thing to earn their place in heaven. They still have to do these certain things to get to God. Like, it's so simple a child can do it, but so nuanced, adults can totally mess it up and totally miss the point. Most of you sitting here today or watching online, you believe in Jesus. Great. Even the demons believe in Jesus. That's great. That's great. That's the sarcasm that James put in there. But if you're walking away doubting your faith today and you're not sure, first of all, I'm not going to apologize for you feeling that way. I would rather you doubt a genuine faith than be confident in a false faith, okay? So if you're walking everything like, I don't really know what I am, man, let's talk about it. Let's work through it with someone you trust in the faith, with a pastor, with a community group leader, with a parent, somebody. If you're questioning your faith, talk to somebody today. Here's what you can do. When I was a freshman in college, the summer before that year, I got called into full-time ministry by God. It was a brick-in-the-face moment. He said, you're going to be a pastor. I said, that's a terrible idea. He said, I don't care what you think. That's what he called me to do. But in that first year of college, I faced more spiritual warfare than I ever had in my entire life because God had called me into the ministry. And I had a season where I did not know what I believed or if I was a Christian for that first year of college. I went away to a big school, had a lot of different beliefs. I came from a tiny town. It was overwhelming. And so I came back after that first year and I was talking to really, really trusted spiritual advisors from my childhood. And I was like, I just don't know where I am. Am I a Christian? I don't know. And they were able to speak such specific examples of the fruit in my life that I walked away thinking, okay, I'm not faking any of those things. Like that, I do those things naturally. Something about me is different. Something about my faith is genuine because people I love see it in me. And that gave me assurance. Now, once again, they couldn't tell me what was true. Like, I had to internally figure this out myself. But having someone I love talk to me and say, no, this is what I see in you. I see that you are constantly looking to help those in need. I see that you are always jumping in to help your neighbor who's in trouble. Like, I see these things. That's a great indication of your faith. But only you can really know what's going on inside. But if you ask that question, they give you some good fruit, man, that's a great encouragement for you to work through this. Do I have saving belief or just regular belief, whatever. But if they say, of course you're a Christian, you go to church all the time, I don't think I'd hang my hat on that, okay? I don't think I'd say, oh, that means I'm a Christian. They see that I go to church. They see that I put up a Easter sign in my yard. Like, they know I'm no. Like, if they can't give you tangible, real examples of fruit, then you need to think. Once again, no one can tell you whether or not what's going on in your heart is true or not. We'd love to talk to you, though. If you don't have a trusted person like that, if you don't have someone that you can trust in that way, talk to a pastor. Anybody in this room that loves Jesus would love to chat with you. But I do want you to know that if you feel like I'm calling you out, you feel like, man, he's like looking right at me. I can't see anybody. These lights are so bright. I don't see anybody in this room. This sermon is for me because I'm lazy. Man, I'm lazy. I don't doubt my salvation, but I've gotten lazy in doing good. And so in 2025, I need to do good and nourish my faith more. I need to do good and nourish my faith more. I need to spend this next year nourishing my faith, or maybe removing the weeds like the phone or the distractions or the things that are in my life that are choking out my genuine faith. I need to work on that this year. Maybe you're doing lots of good deeds and your faith is flourishing. Keep going. Don't give up. Keep moving. Maybe you're like me and you can nourish your faith more. Maybe spend that this year doing that. Or maybe you're spending a lot of energy trying to water a rock. Maybe you're going to church and reading the Bible and praying and singing songs and doing all these activities and you're watering a rock. Only you can know what that is. Once again, our pastors, our spiritual leaders in this community would love to counsel you and work with you through that, but only you can know. And you need to figure that out. But we all should enter 2025 thinking about how well our expressed faith lines up with our inclination to do the good.